Hi everyone, I'm Gautam aka the Seeker of Wisdom. I'm a manifestation coach, and in this video, we're going to be talking about manifesting a marriage with your SP. Now, before I do so, I'd like to remind you guys I am available for coaching, so I offer hourly, monthly, email, and DM coaching. The link will be in the description down below for an FAQ page where you guys will have all the answers you need, and thereafter, you guys can reach out to me via Instagram or email for pricing information and to figure out what plans may be suitable for you. I also have a Facebook group where I upload resources from time to time, as well as you guys can ask me questions anonymously if you wish to do so. Make sure that you answer the 2 questions and agree to the group rules, otherwise my moderators will decline you with feedback asking you to do the exact same thing, so save yourself some time there. um, I also have a mailing list where I will post articles from time to time, as well as my latest offers for coaching. And last but not least, I also have a Manifest Your SP Now course where I will go from the beginning to end as to how to manifest your SP. And this is designed for beginners and veterans alike. It has quizzes to make sure that you are grasping every concept that you are learning, and also videos and worksheets to guide you in your journey. And the neat thing about this course is that this will be updated for the lifetime that you guys have access to. And also, when I do update it, I will bump up the prices accordingly. So if you buy it now, you guys will have those updates for free, so it is definitely valuable, guys. So it's a great investment. I have a lot of people asking me, if you guys are going to give like discounts and everything, and trust me, this is like the really discounted price right now, because I'm definitely going to be bumping up the prices as I'm adding more content, which I am soon. So definitely, it's definitely worth the purchase right now. It's a great investment, guys. So be sure to check it out as well. So without further ado, let's get to it. What kind of prompted this video was basically you guys, right? Like all your responses from the Google survey form. There were a lot of like requests with regards to marriage, and it comes in various different permutations, right? Like, oh, my parents are forcing me to get married to another guy, or how do you get commitment from SP and marriage and so on. And others simply saying, how do you manifest a marriage with SP? So the main thing with regards to SP is that you first assign the meaning that SP is already your spouse, right? So you first assign the meaning to them. And this might sound like a very obvious thing, but I can assure you right now that a lot of people often overlook this step, right? To many, they're trying to get married to their girlfriend or boyfriend, or someone that they have just met and so on, right? So firstly, you have to start assigning the meaning that this person is already your spouse. That's how Neville did it. That's how I always tell my clients to do it. If you know that marriage is your end goal, assign that meaning right now, right? See that person as your spouse and keep going. So that's the main thing I will say. Like, the first thing you guys need to do is to assign the meaning that they are already your spouse, right? Like, remember what Neville said, like, she doesn't know it, but she's my wife. And that's how like strong you're supposed to come with, right? Like, assume that they are already your spouse, basically. So if you are manifesting a guy, assume that SP is already a husband. If you are manifesting a lady, assume that SP is already a wife, right? So always come at it from that frame, right? It's very important, because like I feel like this is where a lot of people tend to go wrong. This is one of the starting things that I feel like some people will tend to go wrong. Is, again, like I said, they always have that oh, I'm trying to manifest a marriage with my boyfriend or girlfriend. No, this person is already your spouse. So there's that. The second thing I would say is that when you are going into marriage, like use the techniques, see everything, and use your imagination. So if you're using affirmations, for example, have a couple of affirmations which already implies that you guys are blissfully married, you guys are having a happy married life, and that this married life is that had turned out greater than you had expected, right? Keep it to about 3 to 5. Honestly, you don't need a lot of affirmations with regards to SP. I know a lot of people tend to micromanage, and as a result have a lot of affirmations. Honestly, see the bigger picture, go straight to the end, and have just maybe 3 to 5, which I feel is already plenty for SP and marriage, honestly. So yeah, so keep it simple there. You're having inner conversations. You can have inner conversations with your SP from the perspective that you guys are already happily married as a couple, or you can also have it with your friends or family, describing how awesome your marriage life is, right? So that's something you guys can do. Scripting wise, I always tell my clients this. So if you're my client, you probably would have heard this. Write a letter from their perspective to yourself, but from like a 1 year anniversary, sort of thing. So like you guys are celebrating your marriage, and your SP has written a letter for you 1 year into this marriage. What is your SP saying to you? How do you feel, and how much do they love you, and so on and so forth, right? So include everything into that, and that's one way to go about it. You can also do visualizations, right? That's pretty standard. You can do like SATs right before you go to sleep. You can just visualize like a wedding scenes and so on. And you can like, and it varies from culture to culture too, right? So do it appropriately for yours. And even if you're unable to do stats because you just quickly sleep, you can just like lay down on your bed or on your couch, and like just kind of like just start to visualize this, right? Like close your eyes, relax your body, and like start to visualize this, right? So that's one way to go about it too. You don't have to always like try to visualize right before you go to bed. I just wanted to clarify that because a lot of people tend to really get hung up on the idea of like, okay, no, I sleep very quickly, so I can't visualize sort of thing. So I just wanted to clarify that really quick. You guys can visualize in doing other parts of the day. It's basically daydreaming, right? Think about it as daydreaming, honestly. So that's that. Now with regards to specific circumstances, right, I just wanted to cover that as well. Honestly, like the general ones I have seen is proposal from SP and manifesting a commitment from SP. And the other variations I've seen is like what the survey responses said. It was something along the lines of like the parents forcing, and this is more of my culture actually. And I'm not trying to stereotype here, like I'm not even kidding, like because I don't think it happens a lot in other cultures, if I'm really being honest. Especially during this day and age. So it's more on the Asian side of things, and like the brown side of things, I guess. But this is something that I always see, right? Okay, my parents are forcing me, they are pressurizing me to get married to another guy, but I really want this guy. So what do I do? How do I go about it, and so on? So I want to cover the general ones first before I go to that. So overall, what I would say is that if you are manifesting a commitment or proposal from your SP, again, go straight to the end. And that's my broad answer for like all the approaches, like manifesting in general. Go straight to the end. Let the middle sort itself out, right? When you start assigning the meaning that your SP is already your spouse, for example, they would have to take the natural course of events, right? So they would have had to propose to you and all those kinds of things, and then you would have been led to where you are in marriage and so on. So I would say go straight to the end. Go straight to the end. Start seeing your SP as that, and assume that they will like reach out to you and everything like that. And you can always like include in your inner conversations, for example, or like you describing it to your friend, like, oh, SP actually proposed to me and I said yes, and we had this grand wedding and so on, right? So you kind of go straight to the end, but like you kind of like look back at those events in the form of inner conversations, and you're describing it to someone. And the most important thing is to feel it real, right? As you are doing those inner conversations, as you are like going through those events, you feel it real, right? But don't get too hung up on like getting a commitment or proposal from SP, because they are you pushed out. If you accept the idea that they are already your spouse, and if you can hold on to that with a high level of conviction, like everything else will sort itself out. So don't get too hung up on that. It's really not that big of a deal, if I'm being really honest with you. And I'm not trying to trivialize what some people are going through here. Like I really feel like if you just go straight to the end, that will sort itself out. So just assign the meaning that they are already happily married to you and that they are already your spouse. Don't check 3D, especially like if you are a very reactive person. Don't check 3D. Have inner conversations with them and keep going, right? So that's that. For people who are having those kind of circumstances that I mentioned, like parents forcing and everything like that, here's the thing. When you go straight to the end, right, those things will sort itself out. Now that said, I can empathize because like in my culture especially, like sometimes people will definitely feel the pressure, because it's like and I don't blame them for this. This is why like I really wanted to cover this part, and like I had like tons of like survey responses, especially with regards to this topic, like parents are forcing, what do I do, how do I go about this? So the first thing is, you give them neutral replies, right? You give them neutral replies as to, like how do you want to go about it. And there's nothing honestly for you to do in the 3D. And what I would say is that, if this is your only goal right now, is marriage with your SP is the only goal, and like your parents are forcing you and everything, buckle down and focus. Buckle down and focus. Stay disciplined. Stay strong. And really, like, be very disciplined about the entire process. So what do I mean is, don't be checking the 3D firstly, like I always say, and yet people there will always be that one person who will be checking 3D, right? But really, the reason why I'm saying that is because, like, you don't want to react to anything, you don't want to spiral unnecessarily, right? If your parents are forcing you, and, like, you think you may not have a lot of time and everything, and you're feeling the pressure and whatnot, right? Don't be checking 3D, don't make it hard on yourself, right? You buckle down and focus. And what do I mean by focus is that you stick to your routines and you be consistent with them regardless of what your routines are. Like, that's not an issue, honestly. It's not like affirmations is greater than, say, visualizations, for example. There's no such thing. At the end of the day, what techniques are doing is to get you to the end state of mind with ease, right? And that's what they are doing, right? So every time you sway or something, techniques bring you back to the end state of mind and keep you there until that becomes your default thought process. Like, that's about it. So with marriage, with SP, all you really have to do is just buckle down and focus and be consistent with your techniques, and of course, stop checking 3D, and, like, don't react to every other thing that you're seeing. And especially, like, if you're seeing, like, say, a wedding from a friend, right? Like, be happy for them. Like, be happy for them. Like, see it as, okay, this is foreshadowing about as to what's about to come for me, and I'm really, really happy. Like, see it as that. Like, see it as that, rather than, like, like, thinking, oh, why is it happening for them, why not me, kind of thing. Or, don't go around sharing, like, asking the exact same questions in, like, various different Facebook groups. Or, again, like, don't be scouring through Reddits and so on, right? This is very easy. This is really, really simple, right? Like, or you can do what Neville did, right? Like, you can imagine your SP in the same room as you, but on a different bed, where you just visualize them. But the bottom line is that you just assume with a high level of conviction and you sustain that. And this has to come true. This has to come true. So you just assume it to be true until it hardens into fact. And this has to come true, right? So, keep going. Like, don't be parroting back the old story to yourself. Don't keep saying, like, oh, but this, that, and so on, right? And one more thing is that don't get hung up on not seeing any movement, because here's the thing, your movement doesn't mean anything, right? And I'm really trying to, like, control, like, what I want to, like, say, like, because a lot of people will say, like, your movement doesn't mean crap or something like that, right? But, like, really, it doesn't. It really, really doesn't, right? um, because here's the thing, like, people get so hung up on movement sometimes, but it's like, it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. Like, a phone call or a text from your SP means nothing. It really, really means nothing. If wedding is what you guys want, if a marriage is what you guys want with your SP, like, that means nothing. And what I always say is that that's always, always, always movement, right? Like, my 5 basic rules, right? Your thoughts create your reality, circumstances don't matter, you're the only one with free will, so they have to conform, thought transmissions are real, and last but not least, there's always movement, right? There's always, always, always movement. It's just a matter of whether or not you can see it. Like, you can't pry open your SP's mind and see what they're thinking. You can't see what's going on behind the scenes and all the time, right? So just let those things, like, just come together. Like, one of my earlier videos, right, like, I mentioned about one of my client success stories where the person actually flew to see her. Like, that, the way that happened, right, it was an unexpected like, circumstance that he had to go and visit his relative and so on, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, things happen, like, miracles happen when you just believe. Like, all you really have to do, guys, here's the thing, all you really have to do is just assume that you are happily married to your SP. That's it. That's it, right? Don't do anything else, honestly. Like, there's nothing else for you to do. You just go by your life assuming that. You only need to maintain a favorable, strong mental diet and not repeat the whole story, right? So you need to be aware, you need to be mindful of your thoughts, right? Whenever your thoughts go to that space, you need to steer it back and say, you know what, this is something that I am, like, this isn't what I want to manifest, so I'm going to change that and I'm going to keep going. And that's the kind of approach you really need to take, honestly. And you really need to be disciplined in the whole thing. And because that is what's going to get you your manifestation at the end of the day, is your favorable mental diet, and you living in the end state of mind is what's going to get you there. And, like, every technique that we do is to maintain all of these things. So really be aware of these thoughts. And don't take anything that people say in the 3D too seriously, especially if your parents are, like, saying things and everything like that. Don't let it shake you. don't let it shake you, right? You always go within, you know the end already, so why let the middle bother you? Always come at it from that perspective. And don't victimize yourself. Like I said earlier, like if someone's having a wedding, be happy for them, congratulate them, you know and see it as it happening for you as well, which is exactly why you're seeing that wedding in the first place. And don't let anything shake you, right? So it's all about you going into this with a high level of conviction, knowing that it's all done and that SP is already your spouse. And and you just keep going, and you just keep going with your life, maintaining this high level of conviction, and assumption that your SP is already yours, and this has to pan out, right? Anyone who says that they have been manifesting for like a long period of time, if I really ask them, like, have you been maintaining a favorable mental diet, have you been doing your routines consistently, the answer is a no. So before you type in the comments or anything like that, ask yourself that question: have you been doing these things consistently, right? Have you been doing these things consistently over a period of time, right? And that will give you the answer that you need, right? So go within, see the end, and know that it's already done and it has to come to fruition, and you just keep going. That's it. That's all there is to it. And there may be like several different variations of like these kinds of circumstances, right? I broadly cover like two that I commonly see. But of course, there are like more intricacies in these kinds of things. Sometimes age, or religion, and all those kinds of things, right? And here's the thing, and I'm not trying to trivialize it, and I know like it's literally a meme at this point in the community, like right now. And that is, circumstances do not matter. So I'm not just trying to like slap that right there, but it really doesn't matter, right? And then one more thing I just wanted to cover that just came to my mind is the past events with your SP. So if this is a SP you have a long history with, there may be things that your SP has said or done, or there may be interactions with you guys that would have been unpleasant or something like that. Don't get hung up on that, right? The past is irrelevant to your desires, so focus on the end, focus on what's important, and keep going, and really persist in the assumption that you're already married to your SP. And don't just focus on everything, and don't think about, okay, will this hinder my marriage with my SP and so on. Nothing will hinder your marriage with your SP unless you allow it to do so, by assuming that it may hinder your marriage, if that makes sense, right? So yeah, so that's about it, guys. So we have come to this end of this video. If this video resonated with you, be sure to drop a like and a comment down below. Turn on the bell notification so that you guys will know when I upload a new video every single week. Be sure to subscribe, as it goes a long way for me. You guys have been really supportive, and I couldn't thank you guys enough. So guys, keep supporting the pages, keep sharing the videos. I know a lot of you guys are sharing my videos as well, which is amazing. Like, so thank you guys so much. Keep going, keep supporting the page. And and if you guys have any queries or whatsoever, put it down in the survey form, and I'll definitely get back to all the topics. And I am making videos for all the topics, guys, so trust me, there's a lot, and I'm getting to each and every one as quick as I can. So guys, stay safe and happy manifesting. Peace.